Welcome to, I would say, another episode of MMA on the Moon, but we have obviously rebranded. We are now Fight Vibes Podcast. So if you kind of see us, it's actually MMA on the Moon, but decided to just do a nice little rebrand real quick. And sorry we missed last week. Last week was a bit hectic, but we are back, especially after a crazy card. There was definitely a lot going on in that one. Everything
Yeah,
from
it
low
was.
blows and weird judging and refs being really weird. But Devin, it's good to hear from you. It's good to see you. What was your
Yeah,
biggest
man.
takeaway from last week?
Um, so from this last card, I think my biggest take, and I, it was in the main event, to be honest. Um, and part of me doesn't blame DeRitter so much. From what I understand, is he wanted to go back in, but his coach called it off, and statements have since come out saying he was battling an illness and this and that. But the fact of the matter is this has happened before in his career where he's quit on the stool and he came out strong and he was dominating the first round and a half, and then he just started getting beat, and he was initiating the takedowns, and then Brendan Allen was reversing the positions and handling him, and he didn't come back out for that fifth round, and I think that was surprising. When I was watching, I was like, "What just happened?" Because it's not every day you see someone on a stool in between rounds and they're like, "No, I'm not coming back out."
Especially at a high level with that like stake on the line of going to a championship
Yeah,
fight,
yeah,
possibly. Like you would think that
yeah.
even as coaches, like I guess again they're kind of in a lose lose situation because if I mean, looking at the Ritter, anyways, like I wouldn't have been surprised if the referee called it. Just for how long he was taking to get back up to a corner, and I mean, just how dead he looked after what was it like even round two. As soon as like round two got done, he was like laying there for a hot minute, and
Yeah.
I we'll get more into this here in a bit, but like the refing and stuff like that. But because I think that's something else, but because I think that fight easily could have been called at the end of round two because of
Well, yeah,
just how
or
he was
round.
doing.
And it did get called in between rounds and round four, but at the end of round four, he was still just sitting on the ground in Brendan Allen's corner, and Brendan Allen was just sitting there already getting iced up and everything, and he's still sitting
Laying
there
there.
like, yeah,
Yeah. I
he had no urgency.
yeah. Well, and I mean again, like it's always kind of tough to take these things that fighters say after the fight, like, "Oh, I was dealing with a virus and stuff like that," or "I had a certain injury going into it." Because at the same time, like I understand that whole I don't want to pull out and potentially lose an opportunity, but I think to me, almost like a worse performance will always look worse than pulling out and saving kind of your streak if that's on the line, just your momentum even. I mean, because going in there the way he did, I mean, fighting 5 fights in a year is just ridiculous in its own right. But winning four of those, and I mean, again, like not looking bad in the first round for a fifth one. I just think that I think like a lot of other people are saying as well. I think that the amount of weight cuts and stuff like that was kind of just getting to him, and I think Kevin Holland's a perfect example of that too. I think just activity is just really catching up to those guys quicker than they probably anticipated, especially Holland, I bet. But
Yeah, and like you said, pulling out of the fight, if he was feeling sick or had any issues in training camp, pulling out of the fight would have been way better than what just happened. I mean, look at Hernandez. Hernandez pulled out of the fight, and he's still ranked number four. He actually moved up because of
yeah,
this loss.
yeah, he definitely
So,
moved up for pulling out.
and I mean, he's still in the title picture. And DeRitter, I mean, in all honesty, like yes, he can make a run in the future and go on another streak, but to quit on the stool like that, Dana White and the UFC matchmakers look at that and they're like, we can't trust this guy. We're not going to put him in a headline against Chimaev. He's going to quit against Brendan Allen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's how they're going to look at it.
yeah, for sure. And Again, like, I understand like even the look of pulling out and stuff like that, but again, like even if you have to fight one more time, I mean, you were gonna do that fight anyways. You know, what's the big deal? You expect just to pull out and then get a title shot sometimes? Like, so I feel like that's sometimes what these guys believe, but I know De Ritter probably wasn't thinking that. I know he obviously thought he had to fight no matter what, but again, I think that even if he was to pull out at some point, either I don't know what they would have done for a main event. I mean, that would have been kind of rough for the UFC to be in that position, but I think they would have
Yeah.
found somebody. There's no way they
It wa-
wouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, but it was a fight night. They could have found something.
Yeah.
Just like they threw Brandon Allen in, they could have found someone. And oh, they could he could have even pulled out and rebooked with Hernandez in the future. The way timelines match up right now, I think Imavov gets the next title shot anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think taking this fight, if he was dealing with some stuff, only hurt his stock, and definitely the way that it just finished, I think definitely hurt any chances that he had of going for a title. I don't see him competing for a title unless he moves to a different weight class and goes on a run or something maybe. But right now, I just know how Dana White's looked at stuff like that in the past, and he's gonna be like, "Nah, you just quit." Like,
Yeah, I mean,
especially in the main event, like lights are on you, and this is your chance to go for a championship, and you're just like, "Nah."
yeah. I mean, and I think again for him, it was unfortunate that Brendan Allen was kind of the replacement because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan of Brendan Allen. I'm not the biggest fan of like his personality or anything like that. I do like him as a fighter, and I do think that he is a solid matchup for a lot of those guys in the top of the division. I think he just gets a little too confident in there a lot of the time, and or gasses out. And because I mean, he had Fluffy in really bad positions in that fight and that rematch they had. I guess their first UFC fight, but um, I I don't know, man. I that was definitely going to be a tougher fight for RDR. I thought compared to Hernandez because I think Hernandez's body is just so vulnerable, and especially with those
Yeah.
knees that the Ritter's throwing, he throws that shit fucking full force, man. He doesn't give a fuck, and I think that would have been a better chance for him to win that, and then possibly even leapfrog Imavov, especially for the activity part of it. But again, I don't even think that would have been great for him to win that. Looking or
No, I mean,
thinking about it now.
because I mean, to be honest, Brendan Allen is lower on the rankings, and yeah, you get a win over him, but it's not a win over Hernandez or
Mhm.
anything like that. And then now you just, I mean, you couldn't get off the stool in round four against Brendan Allen. How is that going to look to the top five guys that are standing there trying to compete for that championship spot?
Yeah, I mean, and I guess like the big thing too is that people were pointing out is that he wasn't necessarily a size bully in this fight, and I think that that's a pretty obvious factor now because even in the first fight he had in UFC with Mearshart, that was a tough fight. That was a tough fight for him, and I think it was because of the size of Gerald and the way he was kind of able to hold his own in certain positions. I think he ultimately just kind of got tired and then got caught, obviously. But I think the Ritter is very used to using his size, especially at that weight, and for Brendan Allen to be the size that he is as well, because he's comfortably fought at 205 before, I believe, if I'm not wrong, because I think the Strickland fight was at 205, and
Yeah.
if I'm remembering that correctly. But anyways, and even Chimaev, he's not a small guy. That dude's 6'4" or whatever it is. Like that's a big middleweight as well. And I think that would have been a really tough fight for DeRitter if that fight ever gets made. But yeah, I don't know. DeRitter was definitely in a tough position with Hernandez pulling out, to say the least, for sure.
Yeah. 100%. Um, and it's I'll be interested to see what they do with Brendan Allen now after this because
Hmm.
I mean he called out Chimaev, he's called out Sean Strickland, so I don't know what they're gonna try and do with him.
The Strickland rematch would be
Um,
interesting because I think it's a little, I guess, too soon. I guess if that's even the right phrase to use for him and Hernandez.
yeah.
Because I feel like the fight just happened, even though it really didn't, but I feel like it kind of just did. And
What I'm what I'm seeing with Strickland is they're trying to match him up with someone like Izzy or Chimaev because of the history with both those guys.
yeah, just kind of get that name value out of him while you can.
Yeah, I mean because he used to train with Chimaev and now they're talking shit, so why not milk that?
Yeah, for sure.
And then he has that win over Izzy that Izzy wants to get back.
I, middleweight's kind of weird right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think Imavov gets the next title shot where he should,
Yeah,
but
I think like that's probably the most clear like matchup out of everything, but everyone else is just kind of in a really weird spot because even Hernandez, I thought the Brennan Allen win was a better win than the Dolidze win. Like the
yeah.
Dolidze win only made sense because of the ranking.
And then I mean, you still have Duplessis that's sitting there.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
what do you do with him?
Yeah. What do you do for that? I really wouldn't mind DDP versus Allen.
Oh, that would be good, but do you feel like Brendan Allen deserves to get to go that high up? I mean, well,
I think in a
I guess with
way,
his age and his streak, but
yeah.
I guess I've just never viewed him as one of the top guys in the division at all. I think he has a couple good wins, and I think this RDR win is good, but I've also seen him have some losses, and I've just never viewed him as that title contender guy.
No, for sure. I definitely agree with that. I was kind of high on Brendan Allen for quite a bit. And then I think most recently it was the Imavov fight was super sloppy and I feel like a super poor showing of himself. And then I feel like he just kind of didn't show too high of moments, high key moments in the Hernandez fight. And I feel like those two recently were just kind of the ones for me to be like, he's just going to be kind of hanging up there maybe, but not like an actual contender. Now,
Yeah.
I think with this, he in a way I think he steals the momentum that DeRitter was having because again I think if he was to win this, like you're looking at him fighting the winner of Hamzat and Imavov, and I think Allen, I think Allen for stepping up on short notice and fighting someone like that with that kind of momentum, in a way, should be rewarded with somebody who can get him towards a title shot or a little bit more of a title shot compared to
Yeah.
Ritter. And
And you
I think DDP is like a perfect person for that right now because I don't think like Izzy or Strickland. I think Strickland beats him again. Just because I think
yeah,
this is a terrible matchup for Allen.
I can agree with that.
But so is
And
DDP. I mean, they're all terrible matchups for Allen.
yeah, I agree with that. I do think he gets rewarded with a big fight. Dana usually does that for guys that step in, and then especially if they win,
Especially the way he did
he'll
too.
reward them. Yeah, I think he'll get a big fight, but I just don't see who in that top five he can beat right now.
Yeah.
I mean, well, he just beat DeRitter, but in looking at the rankings, let's see.
Because I mean, DDP, I don't think he beats him because DDP is just too weird. Um,
Yeah, so we got
Imavov beats
Imavov,
him. Yeah.
Strickland, Hernandez, and Duplessis.
I just don't think he beats. I think his best chance is beating Hernandez again. Or not again. I did he win an LFA? I can't
Fighting.
remember.
I don't know.
But anyways, I think Hernandez is his best chance of winning out of any of those guys. And even then, I think that's only just because like, for one, we've seen that fight twice now, and I think those other guys just carry enough experience to where it would really just trump Allen's skills. I just don't think
Yeah,
that he has the height because again he gets too confident in there, and it messes him up. Like he just gets too ahead of himself. I think.
he's. I mean, he's lost to
He
pretty
also,
much all these guys.
well, yeah, I mean because he lost to Sean Strickland on short notice, which was that obviously aged like just fine. But then
He got
you're
KO'd
facing
by
his
Strickland.
teammate with Chris Curtis, and you also get knocked out by pretty much the same combination. Like that tells me, like, come on. Like you didn't really,
Yeah.
I guess, even properly prepare for that because I feel like that would have been the first combo. Like, hey, like we're working on that to defend that because no way they're not going to bring that ready for you again.
All right. You know who I I would like to see Allen against?
Hmm.
Polio.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind that.
I think their clash of styles, and I think it would make for an interesting fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
And
that.
I think it would be who can win the positional game and land the ground and pound.
Yeah, because Allen can definitely make him scramble.
I think that would be an interesting fight. To
I wonder how the stand up goes for that.
be honest, if I Anthony Hernandez's next fight, I would love to see him fight Strickland. I don't think that's in the cards, but I would like to see both guys with in your face pressure and see what they do with that.
You don't think they would do DDP Hernandez?
That's a weird fight to me
It really is. It's a super weird fight. But I'm kind of
because you
surprised they
have
didn't do that in
pressure
the first
versus
place.
yeah, you have pressure versus awkwardness, and I don't know who comes out on top with that. Like,
I think DDP. I hate to be like a broken record, but I do think that like Hernandez's body, if those high level guys are going to know to go after that, and they're going to go after it a certain way, because DDP's got some nasty body work if he really wants to use it, and I think Strickland's a better matchup for him, but I don't know if he could take
and,
him down.
and in my head, DDP is so much bigger than most of these
Oh
guys.
yeah, he's fucking huge.
Like, I look at him as a light heavyweight, but he's fighting at middleweight. So I see these guys, and I'm like, man, DDP's got so much size on them.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Middleweight's kind of weird right now.
But yeah,
With
this
Sean
division's
O'Malley.
gonna be weird. But Chimaev's not fighting till next year anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah, so we got some time for kind of everything either
yeah,
catch back up or like kind of figure itself out. But
we'll see if they throw anything in these cards in the meantime.
yeah, yeah, there's got to be some moving parts at least in early next year that are going to get going here pretty soon.
Well, so I mean, we talked about that main event. I guess some other big talking points on this card though was just the refing and the judging. Um,
Oh.
what are your thoughts on what you saw on the card?
Okay, well, I guess like the big thing with the refing. Okay, it's just where do I even fucking begin? So the refing on the card. Let's start off with that, I guess. The inconsistency in refing and them taking points and even giving warnings, I think is unbelievable for how old the sport is and how much it's developed and how much it's grown into a legitimate sport. I think the refing is and judging is somehow both super behind and has not evolved at the same pace somehow, which doesn't make any sense to me. But anyways, so the biggest thing that happened in this card, I believe, was it was Mike Malott versus Kevin Holland, right? And you had Mike Malott give two groin strikes to Kevin Holland in under a minute. It was under a minute, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought it was like 40 seconds or something like that, maybe. But like,
yeah, it was something like that.
it's super
And the
close.
first one was super like the first one was hard.
Yeah, first one was bad, and so you had Mike Malott do both of those within 40 seconds, and you have Kevin Holland takes the 5 minutes. For those that don't know, if you have an eye poke or a groin shot, you have like a 5 minute recovery time to just kind of get your wits about you and kind of just get going again, so you're not compromised. And so Kevin Holland takes his full 5 minutes, and I think there was only like a minute and a half left in the first round, and so they get done with the 5 minutes. Kevin Holland and Mike Malott continue on with their fight for the rest of the round. And the whole time, Kevin Holland's adjusting himself, trying to just feel normal again, I'm sure. And there was no point taken. There was no like stern warning. There was no repercussions pretty much for giving two groin shots within a minute, and
And
it's
in that
ridiculous.
time, it seemed like the ref kept walking over and like asking the guys who were looking at the review and like
Yeah,
asking them like, did he hit him in the nuts? Did he hit him in the nuts? And it's like, brother, you're in there with him for one. For two, you need to take action. And this is the second one. Are you going to take a point? To be honest, I think they need to start getting more strict. Like one, okay, but like two, take a fucking point, especially if it's significant because
that was significant.
that, and Kevin Holland's not a guy who embellishes. Like he gets hit and he wants to fight. He's one of those guys who's known for wanted to fight. I've seen him get poked in the eye. I've seen him get punched in the face and almost knocked out, and still want to get out there and fight. Um, and for him to take that whole 5 minutes and then the next round still adjust, like I mean, it was something wasn't right, and supposedly he went to the hospital to go get a um, imaging done on it, an MRI on it to make sure everything was okay. But that's what I'm saying. Like the refs need to be more stern about taking points because it's not going to get better. And because as a fighter, like I understand accidents do happen, like you're throwing a kick, but maybe if you hit someone in the nuts twice, you'll stop throwing that type of kick.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you can't throw that technique properly, like then you shouldn't be throwing it. You know, it is what it is. If and you just need to get better at it. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. Like it's no disrespect or anything like that. But like if you can't properly land a kick to where it's meant to hurt your opponent in the correct way and not hinder your opponent and cause him to not even be able to fight as confident. Because I mean, you saw Kevin Holland like have to hold back because of one, I'm sure how uncomfortable he was, and
Yeah,
two, I wouldn't want to get hit in the fucking nuts for a third time because who knows if he's even gonna take a point. And
100%.
I mean, it's just that's gonna be so. And Mike Malott is such a dickhead for the post fight presser to where he was all like, "Well, I think Kevin Holland." It was either a post fight presser or yesterday morning on Ariel's show, so where he was all like, "Well, it really seemed like you wanted him to like just to take a point or whatever." It's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. You fucking kicked him in the nuts twice in under a minute.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
would expect 2 points to be gone, not even a point. You kicked me in the nuts twice in under a minute, dude. DQ the guy. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that's stupid.
I know they need to start taking points, and especially on eye pokes. I
Oh,
believe
dude, yes.
because they'll just let eye pokes go and be like, "Oh, it's an accident." Have you been poked in the fucking eye and then try and go out there and stop someone from punching you in the face? You can't see. Your eyes are watery. Who knows if you got a scratch in your eye? Like, I
It's
feel like,
stupid.
yeah, I feel like eye pokes should definitely get a warning or some points taken away, but they'll let it happen two, three times before. And you see what happens in like back in the day with them DC fights and Stipe, and
Hmm.
they had to take time off because they were getting poked in the eye so much.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, the refs didn't do anything in those fights.
No, Herb was like, I remember in the second fight, I think he was actually, he may have been reffing all three, which is actually insane. But yeah, I remember, I mean, in the third fight, obviously, Stipe poked DC really bad. But in this first two, DC was poking like crazy, especially in that first round,
Yeah,
in the first fight where he knocked out Stipe. And then that second fight, there was like fucking multiple, like just thumbs right to the eye. You know, and
yeah,
like we're not calling that. We're not even believing Stipe to where like that's a, you know, we need time real quick. Like that's insane. Like come on, you know, like you guys are refs. Like you guys are constantly yelling at these guys. Hey, keep your fingers in. That's a warning right there, dude. If they get poked in the eye, take a point. You already warned them.
100%.
Because you see them reacting to it. You see them, okay, yes, sir, and they close their fist. So it's not like they can't hear you. They hear you. They hear you.
And
Take
and a
a point whenever it happens. You're a ref.
and a lot of times when you see the eye pokes too, it's guys that are extending their hands out with their fingers out and everything. Like
Yeah.
that's completely avoidable. And I get the gloves like are known for keeping the
I
fingers
I honestly think
stretched,
that's
but
such a
like,
bullshit excuse at this point. I think it's just and I'm not saying like the gloves like aren't like what would say like like additional help, I guess, to like help extend the fingers out, but like dude, some of these guys are legit like having their hand as flat as they can make it. And that it's not
oh,
even a
100%.
glove at that point. Like, and they're like,
And
"Oh,
they're
the
they're reaching
gloves."
out for arms and
It's like,
stuff.
fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Like, get your forearms pumped up, then, bud.
Yeah, they're out there reaching for arms and stuff, trying to, and that's how the pokes happen. And I agree. I think they need to start be more aggressive about taking points away, and I think we would see a change. But it seems like a lot of these refs don't. They're too afraid to make decisions, and you see it time and time again. Not only with the eye pokes and the groin kicks, but you saw it in the Nelson fight
Yes.
where
Yeah, these
they
fake stoppages are
stopped
getting
the
out of
refs.
hand.
Yeah, well, the ref stopped the fight, and then he was like, "Oh no, just kidding. The round ended." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
It was clearly a stoppage, and the ref stopped it. But then they let the fight continue, and then it went to decision. But this isn't the first time that it's happened either. Like these guys are constantly these refs. You see them all the time. Like guys will get in a position where they think they're gonna tap or get knocked out, and the refs will jump in like they're gonna stop it and don't, or they stop it and then they're like, "No, I didn't." And it's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah. Well, I
and
mean,
and it's
Matthews and Magny, was another recent example of that, to where
yeah,
you had Matthews where he was celebrating and stuff like that, and like even the commentators are talking about like the adrenaline dump of you thinking that you won is insane, and then for you to realize that, oh, I'm not done, I have to go back out there and fight again. You almost have to restart your mindset, which is damn near impossible within a minute, and less than a minute now because you celebrated half the minute. So now you have 30 seconds to get a game plan back going again, figure out what you did right, try to implement it again, and then he ended up losing the decision. And same thing with Nelson. Nelson had that shit in the first round, ended up losing the decision. I mean, that's a win in those guys' columns. Or yeah, a win. That's a win in the win column that
well,
ends up getting taken
Nelson
away and moved into the loss column.
Nelson won. He won the decision.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Who was
yeah.
I thinking of?
So basically, he knocked out Frivola and then got the decision over him in the same night.
Oh, that was for Vola. That's right. Who did Dober fight? I was thinking of Dober
Uh, Dober fought
because he was getting pieced up kind of bad there
Epilec. Yeah,
for a sec.
and and that's the, and on the flip side of that, you also see refs be super late to stoppages. Also,
Yes. Well, I mean, like Hernandez and Diego Ferreira, for Noche. I mean, that dude was out cold already. Like he was done. And Hernandez was just landing bombs. I mean, and
yep,
nothing against Hernandez. Like he's just doing what he has to do. Same thing with Turner and Bobby Green. Like seeing that shit live
yeah.
was fucking. I legit thought we were gonna witness a murder. Like it was insane.
Which it was so bad that it made Turner decide he didn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Well, actually, I think he's back. Thankfully.
he's back, which I am so happy. I'm a
Oh,
big Turner fan,
yeah,
and I
dude.
think he's super talented, and I think he can bring a lot of stuff to that division.
Well, I hope he
But
goes to welterweight.
think that I think it was just that fight. Because he
Yeah.
said like what he because he said he was already like he was um not friends but friendly with Bobby Green, and I have to do that to him and the ref not stop it. He said it just felt wrong. And so you also got to think about that. Like, yes, it's a sport, but you're beating someone unconscious until the ref stops it. And if the ref doesn't stop it in time,
Well,
like,
and Bobby's taking so much damage too.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, just to add that on top, and then everything else he went through even after that. Um, just that's just
it's
crazy.
it's it's these refing inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on the judges with their terrible decisions as
Dude.
of late. I don't understand how almost every card you see it with the judges. You'll see a fight where it's two judges have certain rounds for one fighter on a decision, and then the other judge has completely different rounds for another fighter. It's like, what what are you seeing,
Yeah,
or how are we getting these some of these split decisions or whatnot?
yeah. Well, I mean, and then even just like the stuff that like they're legit holding grudges, like the Sanhagen and Cheeto card, for example. Like that scorecard was there was no way that should have been a split, and the only reason why it was
No,
split it was
dude.
because that judge was super upset with Corey for something he did X amount of years ago. Like, come on, like you're gonna tell me that that possibly could have that could have been really bad if there's for some other reason there was another judge that had a problem with Corey and they both gave it to Cheeto. Like that would have been insane, and all because
And
of a grudge.
I'm not saying start firing these guys, but there needs to be some type of repercussion for these refs or these judges to face, to where if they're getting these decisions wrong or they're stopping these fights or making mistakes like that to where they're stopping a fight and then saying continue. Because what I've never seen a repercussion for that. I've never had to see them publicly speak about what they were thinking or why they made that decision, judges or refs. And
Mhm.
I feel like we should have press conferences where they have to defend themselves or they have to explain what was going on, and then maybe we would see some accountability.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that, and we would. I feel like we would start recognizing these people a lot sooner and be like, okay, like this guy's kind of had a bad track record. Let's maybe start removing him. And I think even for the fans, like you're saying, I think it'd just be better for all of us to hold them accountable a lot better. And going back to the whole thing with refing and judging and it not evolving with the sport, like with the way everything else has, it seemed. It's amazing to see even these top refs like Herb Dean, Jason Herzog, Mark Goddard, and all these other guys that are Keith Peterson, that are just super inconsistent now. And I don't know where it came from. They were super good for a bit, and then out of nowhere, it just seemed like they just didn't care anymore. Like that's honestly what it seems like. They just didn't care about refing that sport anymore. And if that's the case, that's fine. Let's get fucking new guys who actually will. And I'm sure there's plenty of
You know
ex
what?
fighters that would love to be refs, and if you train them right, like they're gonna do it right because they understand what's on the line every time they go in there and fight.
You know what I think it is personally. I think they have too much on their plate with too many different sports
Yeah,
or too
that's
many different
100%.
leagues that they're because some of these guys are also refing. They were refing Bellator, PFL, bare
One.
knuckle, one.
They go over to the fucking Asia half the time to go ref over for one.
And you're telling me you can't find another guy to do those other organizations, or you can't find guys
Yeah.
specific to the UFC?
Yeah.
And I get it, it's athletic commission, but you have some of these guys going overseas, like you said. Like,
That's not fair to the fighters. It's not fair to the fans to see stupid shit like that because I don't know. It just messes up a lot. I mean, and especially
you can't.
the momentum of the fight. It just really messes that up, and even the
Not
card.
only that, like, and you have, like you said, one PFL, UFC. Like, they may have small rule differences, but think about like the organizational like approach. Like UFC wants it to be more regulated, where maybe one wants things to be a little more less ref involved or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that's how it is, but some organizations have different thoughts on how they want the refs to interact with the fighters or with the fight. And who's to say like these refs aren't like trying to navigate that also? Like, oh, how do I? Oh, the UFC wouldn't want me to stop it here, so let me back up.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I'm 100% sure. Like that's definitely a thing in the back of their heads too, because I have a friend that we would normally watch the Friday Muay Thai fights together and stuff like that at one point, and there was we noticed like even just in the Muay Thai fights, I usually they use different refs for that, but even the Muay Thai fights, like I don't know, like they stop them in a good way. There's no bullshit stoppages most of the time. I mean, because they're not going to be a perfect stoppage every single time, right? But even from their Muay Thai fights to their full like, I guess just one cards where they have all sorts of MMA or martial arts going on. Even in their MMA fights on those cards, they get stopped like really well. And I was talking to my friend about that. I was like, it seems like on one they're just fine with stopping the fights the way they should be, and then go over to the UFC and then they just like fucking short circuit or something, or still have jet
Yeah.
lag or some shit. I don't fucking know, but like it absolutely kills the momentum of these fights and even the fighters'
Like,
careers half the time. It's insane.
like it could be something that they have with like the how they have the ref meetings with the UFC and like what the UFC expects or wants,
Yeah.
and they just have a hard time navigating. Like their instincts is like stop it or don't stop it, or they're like they have a hard time navigating what their best approach should be.
Yeah.
Which
And again, like that just really sucks because again, like it's a shame that we think that way because the same thing, was kind of or the same thoughts were kind of there whenever like Patty beat Jared Gordon. We're kind of like, well, we don't want to think that way, but like, is it possible the UFC was all like, you guys got to give Patty this win, regardless of what happens, you know, or if it's close enough, you can give it to him,
that's
just
what
so
it seemed.
just so we can keep,
That's what it
but
seemed.
see, like that's the sad thing is that we're like that's a possibility, you know what I mean, and it's not like that's ever been proven by the UFC to like do something like that, but there's just almost like there's almost sometimes a little bit too much of a coincidence for that fight to go the way it did, and along with a lot of other examples, but even
I mean,
matchmaking, you know,
I'm
there's
gonna say,
it can get a little sketchy.
I'll just say, I don't know a single person who had Patty win in that fight,
Yes, that's very true. Yeah,
and yeah, so that's a good point.
I don't know. It's just again, it sucks to say that, but like I feel like there's just definitely a possibility like that's going on, and again, I think that's going on. If it is, I think it's going on in every other sport as well. I mean, the NFL was an obvious example with that, and I think the refs and the Chiefs, like that
Oh yeah,
that could not have been more obvious for anyone. Like even
and
non-football
the crazy thing,
fans were going, "Holy shit, that was obvious." It's just
and
like,
the crazy thing is it's been proven and they admitted it, and
mhm,
they just kind of wiped it on the rug. Like,
yup,
yeah,
yup, yeah,
yeah, we were giving the Chiefs some favorable calls, and everyone's just like, well, they lost the Super Bowl, so it's okay.
yeah. Or even the Luca and LA trade, you know.
Yeah. Oh, let's get that. Let's give Dallas that first pick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just sports can be very weird at times with behind the scenes politics that no one will probably ever know about unless you actually work there and get up to that sort of rank and then decide to spill the beans if that's what you really want to do. But
Yep, I agree. Um,
crazy. But speaking of standard in the UFC, I feel like their standard of marketing for these events has gone down tremendously.
100%. That that is something that I have been very vocal about lately. Is like, what is the UFC doing? Because you have these pay-per-view fights, and there's some big fights, but you don't see any commercials on it other than what's on ESPN Plus.
Hmm.
You don't see any advertisement. You see some social media stuff. You see Dana saying, "Oh, look at this" on his social media. Um, but I mean, you don't see the biggest. We've talked about in the past, like the biggest promotion that we have is leading up to a big fight night. You see Nina Drama talking to one of the fighters and streaming with them and doing whatever. But like, where is the promotion? Where is the commercials? Where is the storyline? Where is the build up? Where is the press conferences, the world tours, and I think when they stopped doing those press conferences where they just brought all the fighters and let them talk shit like they did when Connor was fighting, I think that's when it started falling downhill because they wanted to look more professional for ESPN. And
Yeah.
I think ESPN is a big part of it.
Mhm.
I'm hoping when they transition out of um, ESPN that we start seeing some more of that. I think they're kind of done with ESPN, and I think that's a big reason why they're not promoting so hard for ESPN. Um,
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. I feel like there was some bridge that was burnt there that we don't see behind the scenes.
That's very possible. I mean, I really wouldn't even doubt it because again, I feel like just the way that ESPN's handled the UFC since they got him, it's just not been that great. And I have a little conspiracy here. I think that the ESPN, since they already had PFL, I think that their goal was to somehow get the UFC fans to go over to PFL and then almost have that as a solid competition for the UFC. But like that was obviously never going to work. But I think like that was in my head, like that was probably an intention to have both of them competing with each other, even though again the UFC was never gonna really be that competitive with the PFL, or PFL was not gonna be that competitive with the UFC. And but that's just me putting my tinfoil cap on that one. But
It was just really weird. It seemed like in the beginning when they first got the UFC, it was like ESPN was all in on the UFC experience, and
there's definitely a honeymoon
they would
phase.
have it. Yeah, they would have it on every sports center. Hell, they started getting Stephen A. Smith to sit there and talk about UFC, even though he didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah,
But they would have those big names talking about it every day, every morning, this and that. And they've gotten away from that. And it seems like something in that relationship kind of has been soured. And I don't, that's just how it looks from the outside looking in. It seems like both parties didn't want to deal with each other anymore. Um, I don't know if that's accurate, but that's just how it seems to me, at least.
yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I definitely think that there was probably something that went on behind the scenes, and it may have been like the who knows like how far back they start the negotiations for like redos or I guess what do you call it like re-signings for media rights and stuff like that. But I mean, who knows? Maybe the UFC already early on was all like, we're not going to keep doing this, and then the ESPN found out and they were all like, oh, well, fuck you, UFC, fuck you too. And then you've seen them going with Paramount. But yeah, I am curious to kind of go back like on the marketing and stuff like that. I am curious to see if Paramount is going to kind of put their team also behind the UFC, because I know the UFC likes to like keep a lot of stuff in house, including their marketing. And I think that if they were to get Paramount's team involved a little bit more, that they could come up with some pretty, I guess, newer ideas. Because I think in a way like the UFC's just kind of burnt out on their designs and kind of just like coming up with fresh ideas. Because personally, I think a lot of it looks super bland right now. Like
Yeah,
the
I agree.
presentations and everything looks super bland.
I mean, you're telling me you can't hire some of the best guys in the world. You're telling me some of the best media and the best promotions you're getting are from guys like MMA Guru and these streamers, independent fans that just wanted to start being content creators of the sport.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're
just not
telling me
looking
that's
any
the best.
official.
That's what I'm saying. Like, or people are gonna watch us to get pumped up for the next fight card rather than seeing a UFC commercial or hearing someone talk about it or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I think it's insane that that's what it's come to where independent media and content creators are the best thing that's happening to the sport right now.
Well, and again, I think that kind of comes with like that greed of just trying to cut costs anywhere they can. I mean, because that saves them marketing. That cuts out of their marketing budget to where they can put more of that money into the PIs that they're wanting to build, and who knows what else they're trying to do behind the scenes. But
It
definitely not fighter pay.
just
But
it just seems like Dana doesn't give a a shit less
Yes.
about any promoting it. The biggest thing that he he used to, by the way, the if you don't know now you know fight card lineups on his little whiteboard, and he stopped doing that, and now he'll just get on a shitty camera quality, and he's like,
All right, guys,
the
I have some
upcoming
fucking news
fight.
for you. Yeah, it's like, all right.
Yeah, here's some announcements, and it's like, can you put some fucking effort into your brand, your
Yeah.
organization, your like? No, I want to do slap fighting, bro. Boxing, Terrence Crawford, Canelo, snooze fest.
Yeah. And like I get like the want to go into all that and stuff, but like at the same time, like you say that like it's not going to take you away from the UFC, and it clearly has. Like the amount of effort that he puts into. The only time I enjoy seeing him at this point is just the post fight pressers, because I mean it's the most like Dana looks compared to anywhere else that he's normally at. Without it seeming so performative. Because at boxing, you could tell that he didn't want to fucking be there at some points. Like that was like clear as day. And then power slap, I feel like he's just kind of like trying to ride a wave that isn't really here in
Is
America.
no, dude. No, what I don't understand. He keeps trying to say like Power Slap is like the most viewed or this and that, and it's like,
Yeah,
who's watching this? Who, who's what bots do you have running these numbers up? Because
yeah, dude.
I
Honestly,
promise you, everyone that I've heard is like, this is fucking stupid.
yeah, because it's like, dude, these guys are straight up just giving themselves like concussions for nothing. It's not even
And
entertaining. Like I get to watch them
it's
hit
no,
somebody as hard as you can just so they can get rocked real quick. Like, dude, I want to see them how they can fucking counter that. You know what I mean? I don't want to see them just take it. That's stupid.
it's the stupidest fucking shit I have ever seen. I
So, some of the
when I
promotions for
saw him,
that shit are hilarious. They're like, she's been training her ass off, and people in the comments, how do you train your ass off for fucking slapping somebody?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
You don't.
you're gonna stand there and get slapped, and you're slapping someone. There's no training.
No, there's none. None. You fucking slap a bag, if anything, and that's it.
I just I lost so much respect for Dana when he started going all in on that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy's lost his fucking mind.
Yeah. And it's crazy. He probably saw those couple viral clips of those Russians doing it, and it was all like, "I can make a sport out of this." Bro, what? You have kickboxing you could do. You have Muay Thai you could do. Before that, before the BJJ thing became a thing, he had that he could have done. There is so much shit that he could have been doing besides power slap. Like, come on, man.
It's
Like, what are we doing? And
the dumbest concept.
oh, don't even get me started on like the post fight or even just like just content in general. Like we have embedded, like that's okay. It's fucking not even there's it's not even really a thing anymore. I feel like it's just them following around like influencers and shit. And then there's no more like the thrill and agony. Like there's no more of that. Like those were fucking
Best
great. Those were so good.
the best thing we get is on fight night, the video they show before the fight.
Yes. Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And it I don't know, man. They need to fix it.
There's
How
just
do
no
you
effort.
expect to draw attention? Like you're not even getting commercials on TV. You're not doing anything. You're not promoting on social media yourself. You're letting independent creators do it. You're letting other people talk about it. I don't know, man. I think I think they're really lacking hard on that. And like I said, they used to do world tours, like with press conferences and bringing their champs everywhere and letting them talk shit and hyping up the fans, the crowd, and oh, they used to let people in the crowd ask the fighters questions at press conferences, and it would be stupid as hell, but it was so entertaining.
Well, like, and there was such a clear like opportunity for those fighters to come out with their personality with the fans, no less, and not even like just the media, but like the fans and actually interact with them and stuff. And like again, like you're right. We just don't see any of that anymore, and I understand that like maybe there's certain people you can only do like a world press tour with. Like, okay, sure, even if you want to narrow it down to like a couple of people, but like you could have easily done a worldwide press tour with Ilya and Volk. I think that would have been insane. What's another one that was recently big that I'm thinking of? Oh motherfucker, what is it? Even Tom and Gone. I feel like you could have done like a world tour with them, especially trying to promote your new heavyweight champion. Like, there's zero belief behind Tom. I feel like for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just
Hey,
because that Dana's still upset with the whole John Jones situation, but like that's not on Tom.
that's what I'm saying. That's 100% what I'm saying. If we didn't know like that this fight, like if we weren't hardcore fans and knew that this heavyweight fight was coming up this weekend, there has been zero talk, zero promotion, zero anything that I've seen about this fight coming up.
Well, I forgot
I
even
had to
UFC
even go and
320
check.
was like happening until the week of.
That's what I'm saying. I had to go check and be like, oh shit, this is a pay per view week.
Yeah, yeah, and for that to be the case is ridiculous. Again, for a two belt pay per view, one for a vacant one that starts a new era in a certain weight class, and then you also have probably two of the most exciting heavyweights that you have in the roster right now going at it
And
that move like
you
fucking
have the guy.
don't even move like heavyweights. You know what I mean? Like you have a perfect opportunity even just to promote the hell out of those two fights, and you're not doing it. And this whole card
That's what I'm
is
saying.
pretty good. Like it's not a bad
You
card.
have the chance. You have the chance to promote it as the guy that made John Jones retire. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
if you wanted to use that angle, like you could do so much with this, and they're just kind of not doing anything. And that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the UFC doing?
yeah. I
The
agree.
most news I've heard about the UFC was from MMA Guru this week with him and Sean O'Malley on his stream.
See, and like if that's the craziest promotion we're getting, like that's a shame. We should be getting crazy good promos for Gon and Aspinall, especially with the history with those two.
I
Them
agree.
both living in Europe, like no one thought to maybe go do a face to face with them over there. They don't even have to travel that far. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Again, this whole card I feel like could have been promoted. You have Umar Nurmagomedov fighting Mario Batista, Volkov fighting Almeida, Rakic is back fighting Murzakanov, Nazarat's back, Ikram Aliskarov is back as well. Oh, Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's brother's back. Nathaniel Wood is
Yeah.
fighting. Chris Barnett's
Yep.
fighting
You have.
Holly. I mean, like this is a solid card, and like there's just zero promotion behind it.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. And like you said, two belts.
Two big belts. I mean, for strawweight to be held up by Whaley for as long as it has, and then for them to finally get a new champion, you know, you promote the hell out of a new era. I don't know why you don't. And then
I agree.
even same thing with heavyweight. It's a new era. John Jones is gone. All the old heads are pretty much gone. New era,
This
dude.
is Aspinall's first time defending
Getting a
his pretty much
legit title
undisputed.
defense if you don't want to count the
Yeah,
undisputed one. Like it's a huge deal, and it's not even being promoted on Twitter.
I agree. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the UFC. To me, it feels like the UFC is giving up on their brand. Like they're still letting the wheels turn, but they're not caring about anything. They just hope, or they just are so confident that the fans are going to tune in. The ones that care about it are tuning in. We don't care about getting fresh eyes or anything like that. We
Well,
got these loyal fan base.
I mean, again, I think it goes back to just like to my thought of them just being burnt out. Like I think Dana tries to keep such a small team that they can only do so much, and they can only keep coming up with so much before. I mean, because it's not like there's a whole lot of time in between these events. They have not even a week half the time, and who knows how far in advance they're getting ready for these. And if they're having
Yeah,
to turn
dude.
up every week, I mean, this isn't a fucking South Park studio. Like this is the
I,
UFC.
I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing.
It's tough. It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch. I mean, obviously not the sport's tough to watch, but like, it's tough to watch the production be from what it used to be to how it is now. And I'm sure even for you watching so much longer to where you could see the effort being put in, and especially in the very beginning to wanting to grow the sport and the brand to now it just being like on autopilot basically. Like
Yeah,
that's insane.
it is one of the weirdest things to watch, like the sport go through, even through highs and lows. But it felt like there was a time when the UFC was just constantly hungry to grow
Mhm.
and like market and have the stars. And here lately, it's like they seem like they don't care that they don't have a significant star, or they're okay with what they have when they don't have a Conor McGregor, they don't have a George St. Pierre, they don't have a Chuck Liddell, they don't have like these a face of the organization. Because right now, who would you say is the face of the organization? Pereira?
Yeah, I mean maybe Pereira, Ilya, maybe, but like again, it's and like
Ilya
no,
Ilya's still so young, like in his fighting career in the UFC wise, like yeah,
yeah,
he's had a couple fights, but he won the belt at 145, and then he moved up and won the belt at 155, and that's the most he's done so far.
yeah.
So that guy's the face. And I get that's the same thing that Connor did, but Connor was more of a personality.
No, for sure, for sure. There's definitely a difference between those two, and no, that's a good point. I didn't even think about how little he's done. I guess because I think even just like as a hardcore fan, you kind of watch someone like Ilya, you're like, damn, that guy could be a star, and I think maybe that's crazy. That's still kind of where he is because like he's well known and everything like that, sure, but again, I just think activity fucking hurts these guys, man. Like they just don't fight the way they used to anymore, as often
They
as they
don't.
used to. And I think you could definitely say that Pereira is probably the face of the UFC just because of the activity alone. Thinking about it now, and I
And
mean, he had to take that time
I
off, sure, and that's fine. But like the amount of times he was saving pay per view headliners was
yeah,
insane.
and he's a double champ, like he's a two weight champion. Like
Hmm.
he, he's he's done more than Ilya has, and that's what I'm saying. Like I've watched the sport for so long that I've seen these guys who have done so much for the organization or for the sport. Um, and you see everyone now is like, oh, Ilya is so fucking good, and I'm like, let's calm down because he hasn't done like, to be honest, he hasn't done a whole lot. Like he's exciting, he's great, he's won these two belts, but I just I personally don't think he's done enough to be in the top tier that everyone's putting him in right now, because I come from when that's what is expected out of these fighters. Like,
Yeah, I think.
and I'm not saying the two division champion is easy by any means, but I feel like he didn't defend the belt at 145. So what weight does
No,
that carry?
he did against Holloway.
Oh well, okay, yeah, he did once. Sorry,
But
he
no,
did
no, no,
once, but like,
you're good. I'm not trying to be that guy. No, but like I understand what you mean though for sure. Like, in terms of, I mean, because you have Alex who already defended what the light heavyweight belt like two, three times maybe, and
yeah,
I mean, and just won it back again, and and I understand he's kind of on the path now for super fights, but he's truly one of the ones who deserved it. Like, there's no reason to kind of say that. Nah, he hasn't deserved it because of the amount of times he stepped in and everything like that. Like he's for sure
I
earned that
agree.
right. But yeah, I don't know, man. UFC's just in a really weird place, especially with some of their divisions right now, like middleweight, for example, like we were talking about. Even light heavyweight now, I feel like that's kind of a mess. Heavyweight's a mess, just with the depth. Um, Welterweight is getting moving, I guess. I don't know. Welterweight's kind of in a weird place because no one wants to fucking fight each other. And same thing with lightweight. And Featherweight's kind of just like a ghost town up there as well. Uh, Bantamweight is moving as much as it can. Flyweight, I don't even know. I guess it's just Van and Pantoja going on, and then it's gonna
I'm
be.
saying
There's just nothing going on that's like super exciting right now.
I the UFC is just in a state of stagnation, and they don't seem to care about getting out of it or building new stars or going all in. I just don't understand why.
I don't even know
Like
how they get out of that funk because I think even if you were to start paying these fighters more, I still think they fight just as much as they're fighting right now. I don't think it's gonna make them fight any more than what they are.
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what they do moving forward. I don't know how they fix this problem that they're in, but they need to do something. And I'm hoping that this new Paramount deal is the start of something. But I just kind of had this feeling that it's not, and it could get worse. With
Yeah.
no pay-per-view points and no motivation to sell these. Like if solely right now their motivation is for pay-per-views to sell the pay-per-views, and they're not even doing that, what are they going to do when there's no pay-per-view points or no pay-per-view buys?
Exactly. I mean, they're legit just going to have to depend on the fighters to sell these cards for them, because I'm assuming that they're probably going to be getting more of the money than the UFC is for. I don't even know how that's going to work.
They're just going to hand that shit off to the fighters. Y'all promote yourself. Paramount, you promote it.
Yeah,
We don't have
which is
we don't
really
have a
sad.
fucking yeah.
Because again,
We don't have a horse in this race. Go ahead.
yeah, exactly, and it just really shows that I don't know. It just I guess it just shows that they're just like okay with where they're at right now, which isn't really in a good spot. It's really not. I mean, they could be doing so much more.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. I don't know what their plan is.
They're
It
definitely.
seems like they kind of don't have one at the moment.
I just think they're getting. I think Dana's being pulled in too many directions because of his own, wants and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I think at the same time
it
he's
feels like
limiting the UFC on where they can grow,
he's always 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing.
especially now. Especially now, that's insane to see someone. I guess like with the motivation that he once had for the UFC and MMA, and then now for it to kind of him be
Hey.
in a way a sellout. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't
agreed.
know.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yep.
What happened to the sport we love?
I know. I'm hoping we I'm hoping it finds a way out, but and I love this sport, but here lately, man, it's hard to stay interested in something that doesn't even care about itself, you know what I mean?
No, 100%, 100%.
Like if they're not as a fan, if they're not going to give me the product that I want or that I like value and whatnot, like why am I going to stick around? Why am I going to put so much into watching this because sometimes it's not entertaining. Sometimes they're just throwing cards together.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Noche was a perfect example of that. I mean,
Yeah.
we were looking at the card, going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, especially for such a big card for a big fan base. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know.
disappointing.
Anyway,
But hope
so
this
we
weekend's card
kind of
should be good.
yeah, we kind of touched on it. I won't I won't spend too much time talking about it, but we got some fun fights. The prelims, sorry, a lot of fun fights. Um, got Josh Barnett, crazy ass doing flips and stuff. Way too big for that in the prelims. Um, like you said, Walter Walker and Sutherland should be a fun fight. Um, Rebecca and Klein, I think that'll be a banger of a fight.
Oh, I totally missed that one. That'll be a really good one.
Alaskarov and Park Yong Jong. That's a fight night. Main card fight. Any day. Um, Hack Press. That'll be a fun fight. And then you have Rakic coming back. Um, that'll be a super fun fight. I'm hoping he can win. Volkov and Almeida. This is a big heavyweight clash that I'm looking forward to.
Dude,
Um,
honestly, the balls for Dana to put Volkov and Gon on the same card.
I know
What a shame.
it's a this will be a fun fight. I I love this heavyweight matchup. I have big hopes for Almeida, and I'm hoping that he could pull it off. Volkov's been around a long time. He's very talented, but I think this is a fight that kind of determines whether he deserves to be in that top tier of heavyweight right now. Batista and Umar Nurmagomedov, great fight. It could be stale with the way Batista fights sometimes, but I think this will be a great fight. And like you said, those two title fights. I'm super excited to see Tom back in, especially against Gon.
Yeah. I've been waiting for that fight for a long time. I've been waiting for that one
Oh
for a
yeah,
long time.
100%. I think I think it's a perfect matchup in the sense that like these two guys aren't like normal heavyweights. They are very athletic, big heavyweights. Um, they're not like these big chubby guys. They both move very well. Gon is like he's almost like a middleweight in a heavyweight body the way he moves. And then Aspinall, um, is like a light heavyweight in a heavyweight body the way he moves. But he has that grappling and that stand up, and he just brings something in the heavyweight division that we haven't seen in a long time. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, John wasn't scared to fight him," but like I think I think Aspinall is a whole different beast than how big he is in that heavyweight division and how he moves and some of the stuff he brings. Like, shit, if I was coming from 205, I wouldn't want to fight him.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Not at all. I think the only thing that could hurt Tom is I think sometimes he does get a little focused on like headhunting. And so I think if he's going to try to do that with Gon, like that could cost him. I think get countered with some nasty shots if he keeps doing that. But I think he's gonna mix up his game enough to where he's gonna be wrestling, and I think he's gonna be trying to kick out those legs more than head hunting.
I think this fight ends in a sub.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think probably a second round sub. I mean,
It would
it would stop him, get him down there fresh. You know what I mean? And almost kind of pull a John Jones.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's a very interesting style clash up in two super athletic heavyweights, and that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like people are kind of sleeping on Gon. You know, like Gon has a chance in this one. I don't think
100%.
it's a great chance, but like I think he has a good chance of catching Tom, especially like I just said, like if Tom especially is trying to headhunt and try to get a knockout rather
And
than a sub for whatever reason.
both guys have been out for a little while. Like
Yeah, because Gon's
it's been
last fight
almost
was
a
a year
year
off.
in December, and then of last year, and then you have, Aspinall who hasn't fought since what, July last year?
Yeah,
Yep, July last year. So both these guys are pretty fresh. You don't know, they could have a game plan. They could, I don't know, man. Gon could have worked on his takedown defense. I know he's been doing a lot of movies and stuff lately, but and I don't know what Aspinall was doing in his time.
well, I mean that dude looks like he lives in the gym.
But he said he was dealing with a lot of mental battles with how this Jones situation was, but I just I don't know, man. I'm super excited for this fight. I love the heavyweight division when it looks good. And I'm hoping this fight looks good.
Yeah, I think it
I'm
should.
hoping it
I think it will.
I'm hoping it wakes up the heavyweight division. But to be honest, I don't see a whole lot of heavyweights that beat either one of these guys.
Well, so speaking of heavyweights, real quick, so Victor Petrino, right, who got a crazy KO, what was it, 2 weeks ago or last week or whatever it was, and
Yeah,
seeing him go up from light heavyweight to heavyweight made me realize that maybe Dana should assign a bunch of light heavyweights and then have half of them go up to heavyweight.
yeah. I mean,
Like, I think
that way we don't
it's
have a bunch of these fucking.
a bunch of
Oh,
fatties.
dude, I can't stand how many fucking big guys we have.
Yeah, because it's like that's not what the heavyweight's about, man. It's about these light heavyweights that don't want to cut weight. Like to me, like that's what it should be about. Not let's see
Don't
who has the biggest belly and can win the belt.
I know. Don't get me wrong. I love to see some of these guys who look like your fucking drunk uncle swinging at each other. But like, I get tired of seeing so many Roy Nelsons. Like he was fun for the act or for the time, but I don't want to see the whole heavyweight division being that. I want to see these skilled super athletes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I want them to look in shape like they're fighters. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching fighting,
that's what I'm
not
saying.
watching bar fights.
The best guy in the world. You're telling me that the best guy in the world is this fucking guy that looks like Tai Tuivasa or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Like get the fuck out of here.
I know. But
Um,
I mean, yeah, that's what we have for this weekend. I think it would be a super fun matchup, super fun fight.
real quick, who do you have in Nurmagomedov and Batista?
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah. Do you think how, I guess my question is how close do you think that's going to be? Because I do think that Batista could not necessarily bring Umar some issues, but I do think that it could be a tougher fight than Umar's probably expecting.
I think it's a. I think it's I think it's a decision. I think it's a. I don't see it going any closer than a split. I don't even think it'll get that.
Dang.
I think I think Umar is just he's just on a different level. I know Batista's good, but I don't I don't see him competing with Nurmagomedov to to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I think the only reason why I kind of say it might be a tougher fight for Umar than he may think, I feel like he's kind of looking past Batista and already looking for a rematch with Marab. And I think we see a lot of times, obviously, to where that looking ahead or looking past your opponent has like really hurts these guys or gives them a tougher fight. But and I mean, Batista's hungry. He's ready to get up there and finally get into the title contention. But yeah, I agree though. I think Umar ends up taking it with a decision.
Yeah, I agree.
But anything else that you would like
Who
to
do you
add, good sir?
who do you see in this Dern and Janjarova?
Oh, the co-main. Um, here's the thing. Here's the thing, you guys. I think. Hmm. Okay. I think Dern has the advantage on the ground, but I don't think it's a very big advantage. Because I think. Well, how do you pronounce her name? I always just call her Jabroni.
Janjarova?
Janaroba. Okay, so I think Janaroba has better stand up, obviously, than McKenzie because McKenzie legit just windmills like
See,
Francis Ngannou did against Rosenstrike. But
I think
I don't know.
I
I
think Janjarova has the better ground game.
see. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up seeing that, and because I mean she's legit down there. The only thing is I think that McKenzie's probably more comfortable down there, but at the same time, I just think that I don't know. I think Durant. Oh my god. I think Jabroni. I think she's gonna want to keep it up on the feet a lot, and definitely not take it to the ground and take that risk because she has a clear advantage in the stand up, and I think she could end up getting Dern out of there within three.
Yeah, I think Jandiroba wins. I think she has a super dominant grappling style, like where she is able to control her opponent very well.
Hmm.
Um, and I think we'll see a lot of that. Dern has like slick grappling, as in like submission transitions and whatnot, but I think Jandiroba takes it. If it goes to the ground or stand up, I think Jandiroba has it. To be honest, I think it's her fight to lose. Dern, she can be entertaining, but I don't think she's at that level. I don't think she's on the same level as Jandiroba right now,
No, for sure.
or championship level in the beginning. I think she just gets name value. Because I've seen some of her fight, especially some of her recent fights. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Her stand up doesn't look good. Her grappling. Once she starts getting beat in that realm, she kind of like panics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for
So
sure. Oh, because I mean, she couldn't even take down really Andrade whenever they were fighting, and I mean, she kind of just gave up that knockout win for Jessica.
yeah, she once she can't implement her game plan, it's like kind of over for her. I feel
Hmm.
like.
Yeah, I think that's why it's going to end up staying on the feet. I think that's why she'll get finished also within 3 rounds. I don't think it'll go past that unless she lands a nasty shot on Durand, uh,
Jandiroba.
Jandaroba. Thank you. Good lord.
Yeah,
I want to work on
fucking.
that.
Heck.
But
Whole
yeah, no, it's a solid card though. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely be catching
yeah,
most of it, and it's an
I
early
think it'll be a
card.
fun fight.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Oh,
9
100%.
a.m. start
I
time.
forgot it was an early.
Sign me up.
Oh,
I think main card starts at like 1 o'clock, which is beautiful.
cool with that. I'll
Oh yeah,
barbecue and watch that thing.
yes sir. I mean, I think done by probably like what 5?
Yeah.
No, not even that.
Yeah, it'll be done
Probably done by 3.
just in time to watch some college football.
Yes sir. Yep. Dude, I thought you were gonna win a fantasy this week.
Hey man, listen. This league not going for me, but my other leagues I'm doing all right.
Dude, that's how everyone is. Everyone's doing way better than every other league except this one. So I guess which is good because this is a tough league. Then, but at the same time, it's just like fuck.
Yeah, I got a league where there's a pretty good buy-in, and right now I've been squeaking by and I'm number one. I'm number one. I've only lost twice or once, sorry.
Damn.
So
I still can't
I'm
believe we have
squeaking.
Zach that's undefeated in this one.
I'm squeaking by. Like it. This last week came down to it was a 2 point game going into Monday Night Football, and both of us had a kicker left,
Oh shit.
and I won by 3 points. So it was close.
Dude, I've been either getting blown out or I just win like a normal margin. I haven't really any close
Dude,
games at all.
yeah, this league is like hit or miss, but that other league, dude, I've been dealing with so many injuries.
Ah,
Like if you look at my whole bench, they're all on IR.
no way.
Yeah, I have six or sorry, five people on IR or out right now,
Yeah, good luck
and
with
I'm
that.
like, what? How am I number one? But
Hey,
what
whatever
am I gonna
works.
do? I just gotta make it to the playoffs, I guess.
Dude, next week we should talk about MMA fantasy. I kind of have an idea for that.
Oh, dude, that would be cool.
That'd be really
I don't
cool.
know. I don't know how you do it though,
Not.
because
I,
all
I,
these fights so sporadic.
I'll lay it out next week for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, man. Well, another good episode. I appreciate
Yeah,
everyone tuning in.
yeah, man. Yeah, thank y'all for hanging in and sticking with us through this rebrand process, through us um, having to take a week off. It's growing and it's adjusting and figuring things out, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. Only big things to come for sure.
Oh,
But
100%.
appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Later.